Hello, hello, hello. How are you? So, of course, we got to do a mic check. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes, 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 yes. We are going to assume that it's all good. I haven't had any issues in quite some time with that. So, we are going to get started and we are going to be talking about change today. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, my goodness. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lindsay Verter. I'm a public speaker and an international personal development coach for the overwhelmed woman. That is many of us. Hey, LaShawn, how are you? Yeah, so glad that you are here. Feel free to share this with your friends if you think that this would be useful to them. Definitely make sure that you comment, engage, and share. Sharing is caring. The more, the merrier. And I've got some great tidbits for you today as we talk about change. So you already know what to do. If you are watching this live, then you need to make sure that you comment all the way live. Yes. Party up in here. That way I can engage with you. I can answer your questions. Hopefully I catch them all. But yes, make sure you comment all the way live. And it's okay if you can't catch it live. I know some of you are at work or you're busy doing things, being amazing. Then you, if you're catching the replay, comment replay all day. You know how we do. Yes, so comment one of those. Make sure you are leaving me your feedback, all your good stuff in the comments as we talk about change. Change is your friend. Remember that. So many people resist change. Hey, even sometimes I resist change, but we should embrace change. If any of you caught my 1 Minute Monday lesson on yesterday, we talked about trees and how trees are constant and they stand firm in their foundation and their roots, but the seasons are always changing. And as the seasons change, so do the trees. They have the green leaves in the summer, the orange leaves in the fall, the bare branches with the snow on top in the winter. And then in the spring, they start to blossom their new leaves and turn green all over again, right? Leave me some tree emojis if you can picture that whole scene. But what a tree does not do, it doesn't try to resist the seasons changing. Because if it did, like, who knows how many trees we would have. We'd probably always be seeing little baby sproutlets because they can't get past the winter and then they're never growing and they're starting all over again. That's what happens to us as humans. We want to resist change and we cause ourselves struggle and we get stuck in that little sproutlet stage and we never grow to be a full-size tree because we're resisting the change instead of embracing it. When a tree embraces change, it looks beautiful through all of the seasons, right? It looks beautiful in the summertime, definitely in the fall. Fall is like my favorite color. Get it? Because it's all the beautiful colors, the orange and the yellows and the browns. And then even a tree looks beautiful in the winter when it's like sparkling from the snow and all of that. Come on, I know y'all feel me, right? Trees look beautiful through each and every season, no matter the struggle that it's going through with the weather or anything like that. Trees embrace change, and that's why we as humans need to do the same thing, and we need to embrace change. So what we're going to go over is some common reasons that we resist change, and then the stages of change, and some ways that we can overcome that fear of changing and everything. And then stay tuned at the very end because I have a big announcement. Drop me your favorite emoji if you are excited about the big announcement that's coming. So first off, some common reasons that we resist change. The number one reason we resist change is fear of the unknown. We don't know what's going to be on the other side of that change, and we cannot even deal. We would much rather stay comfortable in the things that we're at than change and not know what's going to happen. So like, let's take a relationship, for example. We know that boo is not the greatest boo for us. Heck, we even want a better boo for us, but we don't know if better boo is out there somewhere, right? If you have ever been in a bad relationship, drop me a 1 in the comments. I know I have. I definitely have. We won't even, that's a whole nother live in and of itself. But yes, so rather than risk the fear of the unknown and the fear of change, you'd rather just stay in that okay or bad relationship with the current boo because you don't know what's going to happen if you leave boo. Will you find a worse boo? Or will you maybe never find a boo again? And none of us really want to die alone. Yes, LaShawn says she definitely has. Hey, we have all been there, like everybody. So, I mean, we just don't know if we'll find a better boo, and that scares us because we want to be for sure about the things that we are going to do and the changes that we make. So instead of taking that fear head on, we just stay right where we're at, and we're like, nope, I'm just going to stay with bad boo right here because I don't know if I'll ever find a better boo. And so that fear of the unknown leaves us in that bad situation. But I don't want you to go through that anymore. Let's say that you are presented with a door, and on the sides of this door is just walls all the way up. You can't see over the door. You can't see on the sides of the door. You can't see around the door. It's just a big giant wall that goes on for all of eternity. And there's just this door there. Okay. And so the person that's managing the door, they say like, all right, here's your options. You can go through this door, and on the other side is something different. It's a change from your current life. Or you can stay where you're at and keep living the life that you're living. Now, there are a few of us that'll be super adventurous and be like, oh yes, give me what's on the other door. But the majority of us are going to stay right where we're at because we fear what is on the other side of that door. We fear the unknown, and we want to focus on, well, is it going to hurt us? Is it going to cause us pain? Is it going to bring us trouble or struggle? Like, we want to know what's going to happen, but the doormaster says, nope, I can't tell you. Might be good, might be bad, but you won't know unless you go through the door. And once you go through the door, you have to stay over there. So we don't want to take that chance of potentially being hurt again, or having it be painful, or having it take away something from us. But on the flip side, it could be something amazing. It could be every single thing that you've been waiting for. It could be that new car you wanted, that new house. It could be the perfect family, the perfect spouse, the perfect career. But instead, you don't know what's on the other side of the door. So you stay where you're at and you say, okay, I've got this life here. It might not be the best. It might not be exactly what I want. But rather than risk the change and the fear of the unknown, I'm going to stay right here where I know what's going on. We do that in life all the time. So another common reason that we resist that we resist fear is because the lack of confidence or competence. We're worried that we won't be able to live up to what that change is going to bring us. For example, let's say that you are working a job and a new position comes on your job, and it's a brand new position, so no one's ever done it before. So you have no clue the responsibilities that come with it or the tasks that you'll have to do. And you know it's a better job, but you don't know what the job is. Again, there's that fear of unknown popping up again. So you can apply for the job and take the chance that you know it's going to be a better job, but you don't really know what you're going to have to do, or you can stay right where you're at. I mean, your job's not so bad, right? We are worried that like, okay, what if I take this new job and I don't have the background that I need, or I don't have the education that I need, or the money that I need, and I take this new job and then I can't fulfill it. Now I'm going to look like a failure. And none of us want to look like a failure, right? Leave me a number 2 if you agree with me. Drop a 2 in the comments if you understand what I'm saying. We don't want to look like a failure or be worried that we don't have the tools to complete what's on the other side of that change. So we stay where we are. and we never apply for that new job. Instead of thinking like, well, yes, I'll apply for this job. And because it's a new job, we'll all be learning together. And I'm sure that they will give me the tools to be able to achieve that new job. So yes, Kamika says too. Yes, we have all been there. You understand. I'm so glad. Hey, Teresa, how are you? I'm glad you can join. So let me know. Yes, I see those twos coming in. Yes, yes, yes. We fear that we don't have the confidence or the tools to be able to live up to whatever change is happening, right? So that's another thing that holds us back from embracing the change. And another common reason that we don't embrace change is because it's easier to stay right where we're at. Oh my goodness. Just like I was saying with the door example, it's easier to just be like, okay, I'm just going to stay right here, because whenever things change, it takes a lot of work to change. For example, let's say that you are planning to move from one house to the next house. In order to have that move, you have to pack up all your stuff. You got to throw out stuff. You got to clean up your old house. Then you got to put it in a moving van or a truck or whatever. You got to maybe hire some people or call your friends up to help you. Like, I need y'all to come help me pack these boxes and put them on this truck. Then you got to take all the stuff to the new place. And then you got to unpack it and organize it and clean it up. That is a lot of work. Versus if you just stayed where you were currently living, you don't got to do none of that. And that's what happens in life. Whenever we are faced with a time to change, it's much easier to just stay how we are, whether it's in a job or in a relationship with that toxic boo. It's much easier to just keep putting up with boo's bullshit. Y'all know y'all doing it. Drop me an angry face if you've been putting up with boo's bullshit for way too long. Don't play yourself. You know you have. It's much easier to just stay in that relationship instead of putting in the work of being by yourself and then getting yourself right so that you can start a new relationship. That takes a lot to start that dating process all over again, especially if you've been with bad boo for years and years and years. You understand? Let me know that you feel me. Show me that angry face so that I understand that I am not the only one that's been in bad relationships now. I know I can't be. I can't be. Ain't no way. So another reason that we resist change is that we don't want to face the wounds and the hurts and the pain that we have pushed down deep inside of us. We have suppressed those feelings, and we know that if we embrace this change that's placed in front of us, then we are going to have to deal with those issues that we tried to shove away. Yes. Kamika says she dropped Obey and his bullshit. Yes, we got to if we want to live our best lives, right? So we have to face those wounds. Like, let's take Bad Bae, for example. Or Bad Boo. What do we call them? Bae, Boo. That's all the same person. Let's take Bad Boo, for example. We know that if we have to face him and say like, okay, Boo, you've been real bad. You done cheated on me. I don't know how many times. You done messed up my credit. You done wrecked my car. Whatever it is that Boo has done to you, you have to kind of relive that pain all over again when you face it. And you pushed it down so far, you don't want to deal with facing it again. You would rather just like pretend like it's not there. And so you resist that change. We don't want to do that anymore. You've got to face those wounds. Later on, we're going to cover some ways to overcome that resistance to change. But let's say another reason that we are resistant to change is attachment to the old. Let's go with this Boo example right back again. So we are so attached to the old things and the way things were and how they are. Like with Boo, like, oh, he used to buy me flowers every day on my birthday. He used to treat me like a princess. Sometimes we have some really great times. When it's good, it's good. But lady, when it's bad, it's bad. Or fella, if you're, a guy. When it's bad, it's bad. And you have to eventually come to terms like, when does the good outweigh the bad? We want to get so attached to the old ways and how it used to be. Yes, Teresa Ann says she did that years ago and never again. Hallelujah. Yes, yes, so happy for you. We have to let go of those old attachments that don't serve us anymore because they're just causing us to stay stuck. And we don't want to feel like we're failing. Like how I mentioned earlier, that fear of failure. Because if we acknowledge this change that's coming, then that means that maybe we didn't succeed at this relationship or this job or whatever it is. But that's not the true meaning of the change. Like, I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but we're going to go over why it's not a loss. It's not a failure for you. Okay. I promise we're going to go over that in just a minute. So quickly, those are some of the common reasons that we resist change. And now we're going to go over 6 stages of change. Okay. And then right after we go over these 6 stages, then we're going to talk about some ways to help you embrace the change. Now, we aren't going to go too deep into these 6 stages because that's a whole nother live by itself, but we'll cover them briefly. Just know that they are much deeper than what I'm giving you right now. So there is the pre-contemplation phase, contemplation phase, preparation phase, action, maintenance, and then there's termination or relapse. Okay, so those are the 6 stages of phase. Now let's talk about pre-contemplation. That is whenever you are just absolutely in denial. You are oblivious that there's a problem at all. We're going to go right back to this bad boo example, okay? Boo ain't cheating on me. Nope, nope, nope. I know boo loves me. Boo loves me. Drop me a laughing emoji if that has ever been you in a relationship. Like, ain't no way. Boo told me he was with his cousin, and I know he was with his cousin because Boo would never lie to me. You are in denial. You are not even thinking about change at all. This is the pre-contemplation change before you've made any decision about changing. You are just like, ignorance is bliss. That's what that is. Whether it's a career or relationship or whatever it is that you're resisting the change to, ignorance is bliss. So then that second stage of contemplation, that's whenever you start to get the confusion of kind of sitting on the fence like, maybe something is going on. Maybe I do need to change. But I don't know. That's whenever you come to that moment like, is Boo cheating on me? No, he can't be cheating on me. Boo's not cheating on me. Well, he did get jumpy when his phone rang. And I did actually see his cousin at Walmart when he said he was with his cousin. And his cousin was acting kind of funny when I was like, where's Boo? And he was like, Boo's over in that aisle. But you never saw him. So that's whenever you are like sitting on the fence between, I'm kind of still in denial. I don't want to believe it. But the evidence is kind of there. And you're starting to make that choice between whether you have to indeed change or not. Okay. So that third stage is preparation. That's whenever you're like, no, I can't do it anymore. I am tired of putting up with this. I will not do this anymore. And you have finally in your mind decided that, yes, I am going to change my situation, whether it's with bad boo or a job or whatever it is that you are struggling with. You have finally decided like, okay, I'm going to change it. And you want to change it. And you're like, I can't do this anymore. So that is that stage. And then you go from there into the action stage. And that's where you're actually making the changes that you need to do. And then you go into maintenance. And maintenance is whenever you are gaining those new skills to keep up the change that you have decided to make, or you are figuring out ways to avoid that temptation. Like maybe you're blocking Boo on Facebook or blocking his number from calling you on the phone. Whatever it is, you are taking the steps to maintain the change that you have committed to. And then that final stage is termination, can't talk right now. And you have completely changed that behavior. So in the case of Boo, If Boo were to walk up to you and say, hey, baby, let's go to dinner, you'd be like, nope, I'm over you. Can't even do it. Can't even do it. Or for some of us, and a lot of us, we'll go into relapse instead of termination. So you're going to go into one or the other. And relapse is whenever you're like, okay, Boo, I missed you so much. Let's go to dinner. Let's go. So you're either one or the other. Now, hopefully you can get in the termination phase instead of the relapse. But, it happens and it's okay as long as we can continue to make progress. Progress is better than perfection. Drop me your favorite emoji if you agree with what I'm saying and you understand. So kind of a summary of that is you start in the denial phase and you're like, nope, Boo will never cheat on me. And then you change over to that confusion like, is Boo cheating on me? Or is he not? Maybe. And then eventually you're going to hit a crisis moment. And that's usually that all-time low where you're like, no, I will not put up with it. I can't even. And from there, you'll start to get that acceptance like, okay, if I'm not going to put up with this, then what do I need to do? And that's whenever you kind of reach that threshold like, all right, this is a turning moment in my relationship or in my career or whatever it is that you're struggling with. And you have accepted that change is happening and now you're starting to embrace it. And so ultimately, you change and you make the changes that you need to do to leave that relationship. Yes, I see those emojis. You agree. Exactly like that. So when you finally reach that self-confidence of like, okay, I can do this, then that's when you truly start to make the changes that you need to change your situation, whether it's a bad relationship or it's a dead-end job, or maybe you really like your job, but it's not taking you to where you truly want to be. So whatever those changes are, okay? So those were the stages of changes. Now, ways to overcome that change, that fear of change and that resistance to change. First thing is to be aware of everything that we just talked about. Whenever you're aware of that, it can help you to recognize anytime those moments are popping up in your lives. And then you can deal with them and face them head on and say, pause 1 second. See, the love of live video. Hold on. My husband is home from lunch. Give me like 2 seconds. I can't pause a live video. Let me see. Would you guys be upset with me if we did a part 2 in like 30 minutes? Oh no, let me know. So we're going to have like a part 2. And as we finish this up, let's see, it's 1:30 right now. So at 2:15, we can come back and finish up. I'm so sorry. My husband had some car issues. And so he took my car and now he's home from lunch and I got to take him back off while he gets his car fixed. And yeah, so I completely forgot. Is that okay? Yes, thank you. Yes, okay. So I will see you back at 2:15 and we will finish up this conversation and I will finish with our big announcement. And thank you for your patience. Yes. Kamika says so that she can clock out. Yes, and watch it uninterrupted. I understand. So I will be right back with you. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate it. I'll be right back, guys. Hello, and we are back. Yes. Oh, that was crazy, wasn't it? Hold on, let me see. Where were we? Oh, okay. So, everyone there, can you hear me okay? We're back with part 2. So sorry about the interruption. Let me see, make sure that we are live. Okay, and we're live. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you for your patience with the interruption there. Yeah, like I said, last night my husband's his window broke on his car, and yeah, so this morning he took my car to work, and then I was like, wait, I need that. So he brought it back on his lunch break, and I completely forgot that whole thing because I had already planned to talk with you guys at 1 p.m. on today. I didn't plan for a broken window, so I had to turn around and take him back to work. But hey, we go with the flow. We embrace change like we've been talking about here. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then that means you need to rewind, scroll down wherever it is, and watch part 1 of this video, because we are now on part 2, where we are going to go over some ways to help overcome that resistance to change. So in part 1, we talked about some common reasons that we resist change in our lives, whether it's in a relationship or a new career or, whatever it is that is going on in our lives there. So we'll do a quick recap, but we talked about how some of those common reasons that we resist change are because of the fear of the unknown. Maybe we lack the confidence or the competence, aka the right tools that we may need on the other side of that change. It's easier for us to just stay where we are rather than change, because when things change, we have to put in work to go along with that change. And so it's easier to just be complacent right where we are. And then we are forced to face wounds that maybe we've suppressed way down. And we also have an attachment to the old ways of doing things, the old feelings that we used to have. And we don't want to appear like we failed at something, because oftentimes that's what we consider change to be. Like, oh my gosh, I failed at this. That's why I have to change and do this now, or change and leave this relationship. But that is not the case at all. Okay. So those are some of the common ways that we resist change instead of embracing it. And then we went through some of the ways, not some of the ways, but the 6 stages of change, which were pre-contemplation. That means like you're in denial. You aren't even aware that anything needs to change. And then there was contemplation, where you're starting to kind of wonder, like, do I need to change? Should I? Shouldn't I? Is he cheating? Is he not? Does she love me? Does she not? Whatever it is, you're kind of on that teeter-totter in the middle between like, And then there was the preparation phase, where you finally made the decision, like, okay, yes, something needs to change. We're not going to keep doing this, or I'm not going to keep putting up with this, or I just want something better. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be for bad reasons. And you actually start to plan to make the changes. And then that 4th stage was you actually taking action on those changes. And then 5 was, maintenance of the change that you are making, aka maybe you're learning new skills to go along with your new behavior, or you are figuring out ways to avoid temptation of going back to whatever it is. Then lastly, there was termination or relapse. You're either going to be one or the other. Either you completely cut off that old behavior or that old relationship or whatever that old thing was that you changed from in the first place, or you relapse back into it. Like, for the example, with a bad relationship, instead of being like, nope, I'm over you, I don't care what you say, you'd be like, oh yes, you can take me to dinner. So those were the 6 stages of change. And then we were just about to go into some ways that you can overcome that resistance to change whenever I had to put a pause on my live video with my invisible pause button. So, and now we're here and we're back and it's okay. All right. So let's see, just as a quick reminder for those that don't know me, I'm sure you're going to go back and you're going to watch that part 1 to this video, but I am Lindsay Vertner, a public speaker and international personal development coach. And what I want you to do is comment, engage, share on this video. I don't want to be sitting here talking to myself. I mean, I do that enough already during the daytime. Like, this is my time to talk to the people, talk to you, talk to my people. I love you, you love me, we love each other. So make sure you're commenting, engaging, and sharing. If you're watching this part 2 live, then make sure you comment all the way live. You know how we do. And if you are catching the replay, then make sure you comment replay all day. You know, maybe you got a bottle of rosé with you, but anywho, let's jump right back into where we left off. And we were just about to go over ways to overcome change. Yes. And so we had just mentioned that change does not equal loss. And oftentimes, whenever we are faced with a decision to change in something, a situation, we are worried that it means that we're going to lose something, or we're going to lose out on something. And that's a natural feeling for everyone to have. Like, think about it. Whenever you say, oh, man lost his best friend, and you're sad about that. Or, oh, the child lost their favorite blankie. We always think of change as loss and that we're losing something. Like, okay, let's take your career, for example. Oh, no, I'm losing my job, or I'm losing this relationship and the security of this relationship, whatever it is. So that first way to overcome change is to not look at change as the loss of something. Instead, look at it as an opportunity. Find the benefits that can come from this change. So maybe you did lose your job, and now you're like, oh, what do I do now? Think about all the new opportunities. Maybe that job was holding you back from the career that you really wanted, and you needed to have that change and that push to get you to do the things that you need to do to start focusing on your career, what's going to bring you joy and happiness or anything like that. So don't look at change as a loss. Instead, look at it as an opportunity and find the benefits that this change can bring you. Let's take back to the boo relationship. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then go back and watch part 1. We referenced the boo and bad boo a lot in that video. And okay, so we're like, all right, I'm at this moment where I need to change something in my relationship. And right now I'm looking at as I've lost out on having the security of this relationship. And I don't know what's ahead, but instead look at it as an opportunity to find yourself and love yourself more, instead of being sucked up in this toxic relationship with bad boo. Drop me a sad face if you understand what I'm saying. I know you do. I know you do. Look at it as an opportunity for you to be able to find your soulmate out there, you know? But you first got to make the changes to get rid of bad boo before you can ever go and find your soulmate. And your soulmate might be out there like, oh, I'm not talking to that person because they got a boo already. So you have to make the changes to get rid of bad boo so that you can find new boo and get you some good loving, someone that's respectable and knows your worth and your value and everything, because you, my darling dearest, are priceless. Yes. So that's one way to overcome that resistance to change. And then another way is just being aware of all the things that we talked about in part 1, in the part 1 video that I keep referencing. Hopefully maybe I can find a way to put these 2 lives together so that they're back in one. But if not, just go look back at part 1. Everything that we discussed there, being aware of those will help you be able to face them head on and understand like, oh, this is popping up. Now I can deal with it. Now I can figure out why is it that I'm having this fear of failure. What is there for me to be afraid of if I were to take this new position, or if I were to be on my own or anything. So just being aware of the different ways that resistance to change can pop up in our lives. Okay. And having that awareness can give you the strength to do the things that you need to do to change the situations in your life. Okay. And then another way to overcome that resistance to change is to tell your friends or your family or your support system or a couple people that you're really close to. Tell them about the changes that you want to make in your life, because oftentimes they can, one, be that support system, but they can help you keep those changes going and make positive behaviors towards that change that you decided on. For example, back with Bad Boo, if you're like, oh, I don't want to tell nobody that we broke up or that I'm trying to break up with him, because I don't want to feel like I failed at that relationship or anything, or at my marriage or whatever it is that you have going on with that boo. Now, if you go tell your friends, like, listen, y'all, I cannot put up with boo's stuff anymore, and I've had it. I'm ready to change. I want to find my soulmate that's going to respect me and love me for me, and I need y'all to help me do that. So then the next time they see you Googling and oogling over old pictures of you and babe, like, oh, remember that time we went on that one vacation? Then they can be like, look, Susie, what we not going to do today is worry about all the happy times that were few and far between that you had with Babu. That's why you kicked him to the curb, remember? We are going to focus on us and have us a ladies' night, and we're going to put your phone down. Here, let's just go ahead and block Babu's phone number for you. So there. Now, don't you unblock it. So your friends, your support system can help you make those changes, but first you have to let them know that you want to make the change in the first place. That way they can be your support system. Same way, like let's say if you're trying to eat healthier, if your people know that, then they're not going to be like, here, have some of my nacho cheese fries. They're going to be like, oh, wait, I know you're trying to eat healthier. Let me eat all my fries by myself. Here, go use some celery or something like that. They can help you. And that can be a great way to help you fight that resistance to change. Okay. Drop me an emoji if you feel me, you know? And just having that whole understanding. I know those like, that's it. I know, like, the simplest things tend to be the hardest things to do. I don't know why that is, but sometimes when things are so simple, we want to overlook it, like, no, ain't no way it can be that easy, but it can be that easy. Just understanding and being aware of the ways that we are resistant to change and understanding those stages of change, all of those can help us overcome resisting that change and learn to embrace it. All right. So are you guys ready for the big announcement? Before we get into that, do we have any questions or anything? Let me look at these comments over here. See, do we have any questions? Any questions? Ooh, no questions. Unless I'm missing them. I don't see any questions. So if you have a question that I don't answer right now, make sure you just leave it in there and I will be sure to get back to it as soon as I can see it. Right now, I'm not seeing any questions, so that means we're going to keep going. Alrighty. So, big announcement, big announcement. Drum roll, please. Oh, man. Okay. Are you guys ready for this? I need you to drop me your favorite GIF of a drum roll, your best GIF of a drum roll in the comments, or your favorite drum roll emoji. They should do that, have like a drum roll emoji. All right, so my big announcement is that, wait. Before I get into this big announcement, I need for all of you to know that this did not just pop up overnight. This is something that I have been contemplating for some time now, and I've really been considering it, and it is time for me to embrace the change. This is not a bad thing that I'm gonna announce here in just a second. So without further ado, the big announcement that is that I am officially retiring my business in direct sales. Yes. Pure Romance with Lindsay will come to an end this year. I know, right? Oh my goodness. I know. Listen, this is not a sad thing. This is good. This is good. So don't be sad. Don't be sad at all. Okay. With that being said, I want you guys to know that I'm not just going to leave you high and dry. Come on now. I'm in the therapy world. So I get like you got to have that transition process. So from here on out, I have officially 25 party slots left over this month, the next 2 months, I think. And they will fill up quickly. So I am going to do just 25 more parties over the next 2 months. And first come, first serve, fill them up. And these are non-cancellation parties. Like you can't cancel, you can't reschedule at all. You have to be committed to it because there's somebody that's on a wait list that wanted your spot. So we're not doing any cancellations or reschedules or anything like that. But I will only be doing 25 more parties. Now, this doesn't count the ones that are already on the books before I made this announcement. So don't worry, you're fine. But this is just for 25 new parties over the next 2 months. And then once those parties are done, put a fork in me. I'm done. I will be hanging up my direct sales hat. And, well, you guys can still order, so don't worry about that for as long as you keep me ordering. So, for example, every couple months, I have to place a minimum $200 order. As long as you guys are ordering, I will keep placing those orders for you. So you're good there. But once I get to the point where, oh, I don't have anybody that's ordered anything this month, and it's time for me to hit that minimum, then I shall let it go. Let it go. What's that? Now, oh, that tune used to be in my head all the time because my daughter loves Frozen, and now I can't even think of it. That is the song, like Let It Go or something like that. Anywho, listen, let's have some happy moments because remember, this is not a bad thing. I'm just on to bigger and better and greater things. I absolutely loved my time in the direct sales business, and I wouldn't change it for the world. 7 years I've been doing this now, and when I started, I just wanted a few extra hundred a month. And it turned into something completely different, and I had a full business. I never expected all the trips and all those wonderful people I met. I love my ladies, yes. And don't worry, you can still see me. Just because I'm not doing parties anymore or in that direct sales business anymore doesn't mean you can't see me. Of course, you follow me on all the social media. Drop me some hearts if you know what I'm saying. And then you can still reach out to me. If you ever have any questions about some of those things we would go over at parties, don't hesitate. You can still reach out to me. I'm still here for you. I am still your confidant, whatever you need. And then, of course, you can always contact me for coaching and really become even extra near and dear to my heart as I help you get your life together in more ways. And then, of course, you guys know, with my Unleashed Woman, the events that we put on are traveling empowerment events. So you can always come to my events and invite your friends to come to those events. Look, then you don't have to do any setup for a party. You can just come and you can get your life and learn lots of great things and be connected with lots of other wonderful goal-oriented women. So don't worry, you can still see me. Now, listen, what I need you guys to do, I need you to comment. How did we meet? How did we meet? If we met through my direct sales business, comment how did we meet? Let's have like a little reminiscent moment, okay? And then I also want you to comment your favorite Pure Romance with Lindsay moment that you've had with me, whether it's at a party or on one of our trips. Was it Cancun, Bahamas? Maybe it was at one of our trainings, a conference. Comment your absolute favorite PR moment that you had with me together. And let's share those moments all over again, okay? So make sure you leave those comments. We're going to be like, oh, I remember. But don't forget, you can still see me and you can still love all over me, and I can love all over you, and we can love all over each other and be happy and smile by working with me. Book your free consultation or coming to the events that I put on by the Unleashed Woman. And speaking of which, make sure you save the date for our annual Women's Empowerment Conference. It's our biggest event of the year. It'll be this November 3rd in Indianapolis, Indiana. Plan to be there all weekend because we are working on it. We are in the works. We are closing up the deal on the venue, and it's going to be so luxurious. So make sure that your face is in the place. Tickets will go on sale for previous attendees on the 1st of March. Yes, so previous attendees will get a special discounted ticket that goes on sale in just a few weeks, and then everybody else will be able to purchase their tickets on April 1st, okay? And the price will increase as it gets closer and closer and closer. Every few weeks, the price will increase. So don't be saying you didn't know, because I'm telling you right now, okay? So if you want the cheapest price, get your ticket early, all right? Now, sharing is caring. Don't forget to share this broadcast. Make sure you share part 1 and part 2, because if you just share this one, they're going to be like, what? So you got to make sure that you go back and share part 1. Okay, and then go and share part 2 with all your friends. You know, you never know who needs to hear or who is struggling with change right now. So, with that being said, I want to wish you a very, very blessed day, and I will catch you guys the next Tuesday. Okay, have an awesome day.